What's going on, guys? It's your boy Steve. Welcome to my channel, Fantasy Studs. So today we're talking about 3 rookie mistakes not to make in your fantasy football league. Now, I understand everyone got to start somewhere. We all had that first fantasy football season, so I figured why not help out the homies who were just starting. Now, before I get into the video, if you guys haven't already subscribed, I'd appreciate if you click that subscribe button. Show your boys some love. Now, with that being said, let's hop right into this video, man. So the first thing I would want to tell you guys not to do when drafting your very first time, or just, I don't know, I guess anyone who feels like they're kind of a beginner, never, ever draft a quarterback in the first round. I would actually go ahead and extend that and say in the first 2 rounds. Don't draft a quarterback first. It's an absolute rookie mistake. Fun fact, the first time I ever played fantasy football, one of my friends at work was like, hey, man, my uncle runs this fantasy football league. Do you want to join? We got a spot open. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So I get there. I end up getting the first overall pick. We picked it out of a hat. And, of course, as a Patriots fan, the first pick comes around. And I'm like, all right, with the first pick overall, I picked Tom Brady. And everyone was like, what? They were looking at me like I had 8 heads. And I thought everyone was just being Patriots haters. But nope, I just looked like a complete asshole. So never, ever, ever pick a quarterback first round, especially if you have the first overall pick like I did that one year. Needless to say, I came in like last place. So yeah, that's number 1. Number 2, kind of similar to the story I just told you. Do not draft players just because they're on your favorite team or just because they're your favorite players. Don't give them an unrealistic value just because they're close to your heart. You have to understand that fantasy football, it's kind of like the stock market, man. All it is, when you really just look at it from a macro perspective, it's just a numbers game. It's all about statistics. Leave the emotions at the door, all right? It's just this week, I need to score a higher number than this guy, and then I win. So, and it sucks because, every year I have to play the guy who has, Tom Brady, Julian Edelman combination. And it sucks because for that week in real football, I'm like, well, damn, I don't want Edelman or whatever, Gronk or whatever to do good because, I kind of want to win this matchup this week. So, there's that. But, you just got to leave the emotions at the door. You have to understand that, like I said, it's just a game of numbers. You just got to score more points than your opponent. So don't be giving your favorite players an unrealistic value. That's my second piece of advice. All right, coming in at number 3, last but not least, this actually doesn't take place during the draft. So, all right, so you drafted your team, and now it's time to start the fantasy football season. A lot of beginners think that means, all right, my work is done. Brother, your work hasn't even started yet. I would say drafting your team is half the battle, but honestly, it's not even half the battle. Now, there's a good quote. I think someone from the Fantasy Footballer said this. I could be wrong on who said it, but it doesn't matter. They said you can't win your fantasy league at the draft, but you can lose your fantasy league at the draft. Now, what that basically means is your draft is meant to just lay the foundation. Lay the foundation of your team. Don't do nothing stupid. Just draft a nice base for your team. Now, what that does is it sets you up for the rest of the year, which is week in, week out. Honestly, in some serious leagues, is day in, day out. Always be scouting. Always be messaging other team owners in your league. Always be looking at the waiver wire. Be reading up on articles of your players. Be looking at other teams' rosters. Thinking of future trades in your head. Like, all right, this guy looks like he's weak in the running back situation. I kind of have an extra running back. I need a wide receiver. This, that, whatever. You got to be looking at stuff, man. Most of the battle is making sure that you have the best roster possible week in and week out. And the way you do that is by being a savage on the waiver wire, being a savage on news, have notifications on for, ESPN, all that shit sent to your phone. You have to seriously be dedicated, man. This is, I guess, if you're in a serious league, which is the only kind of leagues I like to play in. So just understand that a lot of people, when they start playing fantasy, they think that they can just draft a team and then that's kind of it. They don't have to make any trades, don't really have to. I remember like my first 2 years, I never really even used the waiver wire until there was a week where like I literally needed to pick up a player or else I was going to have an empty spot because I had a couple players on a bye week. So just understand that, man, that once you draft your team, most of the work is still in front of you. Pretty much all the work is still in front of you. So I guess those are my 3 pieces of advice for people who are just starting fantasy. And if this is your first year, man, welcome. It's a fun game. It's a great environment to talk shit to your friends. And I hope you have a great experience playing fantasy football. Now, with that being said, guys, that's the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed it, I'd appreciate if you click that subscribe button. Show your boys some love. Because remember, guys, if you're not first this week in fantasy football, well, that just means you're last. So, again, I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I'll see you guys in more of my videos, hopefully.